I assume you are socially responsible and have watched enough television to be in a state of agitation, confusion and anxiety about the totally real and not manufactured climate crisis. Or are you one of those bigot science phobes who denies science and hates poor people and children?
We are creating this movement every day, because every day of inaction drives more action from us!
I am afraid. How come why is the governments, corporations and media not listening to these suffering children's grassroots global movement?
Climate activists need to support other social movements too, because any fight for justice is your fight too. So when kids rally for gun safety or for LGBTQ+ rights, or when teachers ask for livable wages, get your butt out there and support them!
I'm mad at my parents because look at where we're at right now. Like, we're all gonna suffer if we don't start doing something now.
Wow. This is, serious. That girl shook. These poor suffering children are suffering so much and just want the bad grown-ups to be good and take #climate action now.
Hey, Amelia here, and we're bringing you a very special episode of Newsbreak all about the global climate strike. Millions of students all over the world have hit the streets.
This real global crisis requires an immediate global solution. I do not hate children. This is clearly grassroots, not astroturfed activism.
Thanks, Amelia. I'm at a rally in Adelaide and lots of students have come out to take part. And I'm speaking with one of them now. Why is this such a big issue for so many kids?
I think this is such a big issue for so many kids because our future is being decided entirely on the decisions that are being made today.
This horrific global crisis requires an immediate global solution that we obviously don't have time to question or discuss. I do not hate children. I am not a bigot.
This is an incredibly important cause, and this is an opportunity for them to stand up for their futures, and that's definitely worth missing school for.
Everybody wants us to go to school, and I want to go to school because I want to get educated. But climate change is so important that through school that I've learned that we need to actually do something. And with our power, we should all stand up and fight for what's right.
Greta says the best thing people can do is start small, because everyone has the power to make a difference.
No one is too small to have an impact and change the world, so just do everything you can.
In keeping with all things environment, let's check out some happy stories of people doing their bit to help save our planet.
I, for one, am ready to accept the solutions to this completely legitimate and not a scam worldwide existential threat. Let's check out His Royal Highness Prince Khalid bin Al Walid's YouTube channel to see if plant-based news is covering this breaking news of the #climate crisis. Surely Klaus and the vegan movement will be taking appropriate action to face this imminent and immediate planetary threat that will surely destroy everything very soon if we don't take appropriate #climate action right now.
Than the rest of the Earth. Temperatures over parts of the Arctic will increase as much as 54 degrees Fahrenheit this month.
Our house is on fire. Our house is falling apart.
We are right now about 11 years away from that climate breakdown will become irreversible.
Wow. This is serious, and this video is already a week old. Let's see if the most recent videos have some solutions we can implement to combat this completely serious and imminent real global catastrophe.
And we will never stop fighting. We will never stop fighting for this planet and for ourselves, our futures, and for the futures of our children and grandchildren. Thank you.
3 years ago, I guess, I'm not quite sure, but 3 years ago, roundabout, you radically changed the life of your family. You managed to have your family stop eating meat, for example. How did you do that, and what did it take to convince them?
I am shaking with goosebumps right now. This brave grassroots 16-year-old human shield is on every television station in the world fighting for the solutions. I'm so glad there is a way to avert the imminent catastrophe that all the real science has proven will destroy everything if we don't take action now. If the adults don't sterilize themselves, put us on birth control, pay carbon taxes to the World Bank and IMF, move into a social engineered smart city and eat a plant-based diet of mass-produced kibble made from processed monocropped patented GMO plant foods, this poor 16-year-old human shield will not have a future.
And so on. They always had excuses, but then I made them feel so guilty.
You made them feel guilty?
Yeah, I told
Bad news for your parents.
Yeah.
What's that? You aren't convinced? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you stealing poor Greta's future? Why do you hate children and the planet? Why do you support murdering Bambi and Simba?
And then they decided to do those changes because I have made them feel very guilty.
Now all of them are vegan.
I'm so excited to be vegan like my heroes, Greta and Klaus. Let's check in on Bill Gates, selfless philanthropist, friend of former champion of science and fellow philanthropist Jeffrey Epstein. He must be working to help us face this real, credible death threat from the climate.
Some people don't recognize how important Nigeria is. In sub-Saharan Africa, almost a quarter of the people live in one country. I'm here with my friend, Aliko Dangote.
A lot of people, they are not really aware of the malnutrition issues that we have in Nigeria.
Malnutrition is such a gigantic problem. Part of it is just getting enough food, but another part is getting various vitamins, micronutrients.
Rejoice. Bill Gates, major shareholder in Monsanto and Beyond Meat, and his friend, the richest man in Africa, are putting extra special vitamins and minerals in the industrial plant-based GMO kibble they want to feed all of Africa and the world with. Saving the planet and not eating meat or animal foods never felt so good. If we could get more GMO corn and soy into Africa, we can stop the hashtag climate crisis.
And now whatever that we produce in Dangote Group, whatever you eat, you have micronutrients there.
Here we've got flour that's got the vitamin A in it. Here we've got salt with iodine in it.
We gathered 13 of the CEOs that produce 80% of the foods that we sell in Nigeria, and they committed to adding nutrients into whatever they are producing,
which will have a big impact on health.
What we just want is for the government regulatory agencies to make sure that, yes, it is enforced everywhere. It is enforced everywhere.
I trust in this and want the government to put nutrients in all my kibble. Equality is delicious and nutritious.
Have a huge impact on all of Africa.
I'm so relieved. Let's go back to plant-based news and find some more revolutionary vegan solutions to the truly imminent climate Armageddon. Looks like plant-based news has taken a day off from fighting the real and not made up hashtag climate crisis to make a sponsored recipe video ad for a fake vegan cheese made by a company that mass produces real cheese in the UK. Great timing. It's been nearly an hour since this newly converted starving vegan has had an unnecessary vegan snack. Nothing stokes the revolutionary fire in my vegan soul like a healthy, sustainable fake vegan cheese meal in my smart city coffin apartment. I feel so good about myself. I feel so happy and not malnourished. I am ecstatic and smiling inside. I do not want to cry.
And it's just completely dairy free, so if you are lactose intolerant, then that's, this is a great alternative for you too. So when it came, we were pretty surprised in a great way at how good and realistic it is.
It's so good, it's lovely raw and it melts amazingly, doesn't it too? Mm-hmm. So we're going to make some really good recipes. This one I'm really excited about because it's
this recipe and lifestyle is so acceptable and is healthier for myself and the planet than real food. This is a sustainable vegan meal of fake cheese fried in Roundup fortified wheat flour and GMO vegetable oil. I do not wish this was real animal foods. I am very empowered against the hashtag climate crisis. I am not deceived. We are all one. I can become a god. I am being the best version of myself. I am being the change that I want to see in the changes that must come in these changing times to come. The animals will thank me if I get a vasectomy. The climate crisis is going to kill everything if we don't all do this. I am happy and choose this. I like making vegan recipes like the people on the screen. I am smiling large inside. My mother is the earth and my father is a closet heterosexual. We evolved from cosmic sludge. I will stop craving real animal foods eventually. I feel healthy. Veganism is desirable and easy. I would gladly pay a carbon tax to the World Bank. Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. I am saving the planet. The climate is changing, and if I don't eat this instead of real animal foods, that 16-year-old human shield won't get her future back from the abusive grown-ups. I am not deceived. I am not in denial. I am an activist.
And we're back. We're back. How many of you are newly converted activists after that? I'm so inspired. I'm so freaking inspired. Look at all these bigots. What's up, bigots? What are you guys doing? You guys got, let's see, there we go. We got over 100 bigots up in the polycule. All right, guys. Got the audio working, got the video working, got dogs yapping in the background. Calm down. All right. We got a lot to cover today. We're talking about our friends, the Dinks, on the last stream. Talked about the Dinks. What was that, Tuesday? Tuesday, we talked about the Dinks. You know, I actually learned from somebody in the comments that the term dink wasn't always dink. Dual income, no kids. It started out as a dinky. Dual income, no kids yet. I think dinky sounds a little bit better. I mean, it still sounds oddly degenerate. I mean, dink sounds completely twisted. But dink used to be dinky, right? Dual income, no kids is dink, right? And this is an economic classification for a type of people that can be marketed to. That was the conclusion of the previous stream. This is the total Madison Avenue invention. It's a term cooked up using focus groups to influence people, right? I mean, it's to essentially create to construct a model for the ideal consumer to be advertised to. But it's interesting because it's also an ideal global citizen, the type of global citizen that these corporations would love to have at their disposal as things to not just advertise to, but advertisements, television, mass media, the ads you see on YouTube, the YouTubers that are promoted on YouTube, the trends that are promoted on TikTok. These are more than just, it's not just about advertising new products. It's not just about selling new products. The imagery in advertisement is used to actually sell you a worldview. It's used to form your view, to form your vision of the world, to form your behaviors. Right? So this repetition of the tropes that you see, the types of people that you see, right? It becomes almost like the psychological scaffolding that your worldview is made of, which influences your behavior, which will influence stuff like reproductive rates, right? Stuff like fertility rates. Now, we've got a huge fertility crisis in the millennial generation, a generation that's been completely bathed in propaganda from conception till now. And the Zoomers are in a similar position, very different generation, a lot of similarities in the Zoomers, but the millennial generation has kind of been the focus of the critique. And again, remember, we're not just here to hate on all the millennials, right? I mean, me being it would be cruel of me as a trans boomer, right? I mean, I present sometimes and may look like a millennial, and if you look at the year I was born, you might come to the conclusion that I'm a millennial. Right. So that, of course, would give me perspective. It'd give me a pretty good perspective on this this twisted, broken, beaten, and intellectually, spiritually, and even physically castrated generation. But I have an even better perspective because I'm actually trans boomer. I'm actually trans boomer. Sometimes I'm trans Gen X, trans Gen Xer. Definitely prefer Gen X to the boomer generation. Just a personal preference. I got people I love. I got friends and family in all the generations. But I don't know. I'd say the Gen X have done a little bit, slightly better than the boomers, slightly less obnoxious than the boomers. But maybe it's just because, you know, they're kind of like our older brother generation, right? The Gen Xers are just a few years behind us on that timeline. So, you know, perhaps that's why we have a little soft spot. Got a bunch of bigots up in the chat. You guys, let me see. Where did that go? We got the alert boxes on. There we go. If you guys want to support the stream, make sure to support the stream using the Streamlabs super chat link. I'll throw this again up in the chat. There we go. Support the work we do here. Use that Streamlabs link. And I actually turned on, we have the, what is it called? There we go. Super chats on YouTube are also activated. So we got the super chats activated on YouTube. Super chats activated over there on Streamlabs. We even have a new, we even got a new alert. Got the alerts turned on here. So we'll see if that new alert works. I sure hope it does. All you Homo sapiens will probably like it. All right, freaking Homo sapiens. Let's get into it. We're talking polyamory, self-care, and our friends who are not okay. Our friends who are not freaking okay. There's something seriously wrong with our millennial friends. If you see a millennial, guys, if you see them, make sure to do a
soy boy because I love soy.
Oh my goodness, there we go. It's working. It's working. We got a super chat right there. If you see a millennial, ask them if they're okay. Actually, you kind of know they're probably not okay. They're definitely probably not okay, but ask them anyways. Ask them anyways, because they're going to have to tell you about their mental health. They'll have to tell you about their new self-care regimen, which we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about self-care. Speaking of which, Kristen donated $5. Says, I randomly clicked on a video by Chalice of Immortality talking about how Matt Monarch's sacrificing his colon, and he happened to mention that you were friends with him, but you went carnivore and Matt continued deteriorating. Yeah, I knew Matt in real life. Used to, I mean, we were never really close friends, but definitely knew each other. And it's been really sad seeing his health kind of fall apart. But yeah, that's interesting. I might have to, I don't know why he would be doing something called Chalice of Immortality, because it seems like, unfortunately, what he did to himself was kind of the opposite of bringing about immortality. That dude has definitely suffered the consequences of the vegan religion, right? And you know, he took that path. He was like I think he's trans-millennial. He's like a Gen Xer. He's an older, I'd say he's trans-millennial. Thank you very much for that super chat via Streamlabs there, Chris. And that's an interesting question there. I'm gonna have to watch that interview. But I'm glad he's still around. Hopefully he's doing better. All right, where we at here? Self-care. Sorry, I got a few things pulled up here. I gotta find this article. Where'd it go? Bear with me here for a second. All right, you guys, I'm gonna need you guys to go ahead and do some self-care. Do some tapping. some tapping and do some affirmations. Tell yourself, our millennials in the chat, tell yourself that it's everyone else's fault that you have mental health, right? Your mental health. Your mental health is it's so important. Your mental health is probably the most important thing that you could ever talk about. And everybody's just waiting for you to start telling them about your mental healths. And if you have mental health, the best way to get rid of it is just talk about it so much. Just talk about it a lot. a lot. And you'll feel a lot better. All right, we've got that's the wrong article here. Okay. All right, I lost my tabs here. Gotta find that article. Self-care. Now this is a concept that the millennials have just really embraced in their endless quest to waste away their most fertile and possibly productive years, where they could be having making families. Could be making families, preparing themselves for the future, but instead, no, we've got an entire economy based on millennial self-care. Self-care is often reduced to images of extravagant day spas and lavish vacations, but true self-care goes much deeper than indulgent treats. It's about something far more essential: prioritizing yourself and setting boundaries. This is like a major buzzword among the kind of self-help, spiritual folks. Setting boundaries, right? Like, setting boundaries is super important. We're going to talk a little bit about setting boundaries. When we get into our friends in the polycules, the crumbling world of the polycules. They're taking big L's this week. It's been a bloody week even for some polycules. So yeah, if you want your mental health as a millennial to be improved, if you have mental health, first of all, like we said, you got to talk about it. You got to tell everyone. You got to inform everybody about the boundaries. Set boundaries for yourself. When you're having mental health, tell your friends and family the boundaries, right? Like, hey, I'm having a really hard time. I'm having mental health. Okay, I have mental health. And when you're being toxic, aka bursting my bubble, not agreeing with me, not bowing down to my lavish demands on how I want to be treated, if you're not feeding into my constant need for my for the polishing of my glass house, if you're not just spending all day spit shining my tiny fragile glass house, you're being toxic. And I'm gonna have to set boundaries because your toxicity is not gonna stand here, dude. It's not gonna stand. We got a YouTube. We got a YouTube. That's the first. Let's see. Is that the first one in a while? I think so. That's the first YouTube super chat in a while. We got the YouTube super chats turned on. Oh man, talking about toxic. Somebody who's, oh my goodness. Too ratist rapper, he says. This is this guy named Jay Dyer. I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy. Completely toxic. Just zero respect for people, for mental health. When people are having mental health, zero respect for them. And he comes in here and he says two ratist rappers. Ratist, is supposed to mean greatest? Lil AIDS, aka Tristan. He's trying to say second rate rapper. Two ratist rappers. Second greatest rapper. Oh, second greatest rapper. So it's a compliment, but in classic toxic need to set boundaries with this person style, Jay is insinuating that there's a greater rapper. I mean, at least he's admitting that I'm a great rapper. The other night on his stream, when he was completely embarrassed, he was completely freaking embarrassed and humiliated and made to look like a fool. Oh, there we go. And it shows up on stream. How dare you? It's working. The notifications are working. I think I forgot to set the new notification for YouTube. There's a new one on Streamlabs. So hopefully that one pops up. Anyways, total passive-aggressive jab. All right, I got to get back to the self-care, rather. As a millennial, self-care is really important to me. So, set boundaries, guys. I think you guys understand. I've explained the concept to you. Boundaries, like your freaking dad, right? You freaking, okay, Dad, you paid my rent again for the 15th year since I moved out. 35 years old, and you're paying my rent. Okay, thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. Oh, I shouldn't be snorting Xannies. I shouldn't be snorting Xannies and freaking smoking weed all day and playing video games. Okay, Dad. Okay, Dad. Yeah, thanks, bro. I'm sorry. I just get really upset. So yeah, your dad, most definitely set boundaries with him, right? Boundaries, millennials, Gen Z, learn from your older brethren, the millennials. When your dads are trying to be toxic, aka asking you if you got a job yet, aka asking you super personal stuff like, how much weed do you smoke a week, dude? Like when he says totally toxic, boundary crossing stuff like that, you have to be firm. Set your boundaries, right? Set up those boundaries. Blockade yourself from toxic influences. Okay, there are a lot of ways that you can identify toxic influences. Mostly those are the people who don't support you, right? And the people who and then there's people who are extra toxic who engage in something called gaslighting. Now, gaslighting is not only when people don't support you, but when they make you feel uncomfortable. Okay, so learn how to identify these things. Learn how to identify gaslighters, toxic people. Okay, gang stalkers. Okay, you might realize that your dad is a gang stalker. That your dad is toxic. So set the boundaries. Okay, in a world that constantly demands your time and energy, that can be harder than it sounds. Let's explore the real meaning of self-care and discover how you can identify affordable self-care practices that fit your busy life. Right? We know you guys are so busy. Going to the microbrewery and spending $90 on 4 beers. Right? Going to the microbrewery and buying your Pink Furry Elephant IPA. Right, your Trans Marilyn Monroe Blonde Ale. Right, we understand that you got to save some money. You got to save some money because you only have like $800 a month that you spend on OnlyFans chicks. So you're gonna have to save some money. Redefining self-care for millennials, the misconception, luxury versus necessity. So like definitely geared towards the millennials who don't have that big disposable income. So here's number 1, yoga at home. I bet you would have never thought. You would have never thought that laureltherapy.net, that your friendly therapy collective, Laurel Therapy, would recommend yoga at home. So do yoga at home. Look at that. You could pull up a YouTube video, right? Pop a couple extra you know what's. Pop a couple of them extracurricular pharmaceuticals. You get some of those extracurricular pharmaceuticals in you and do that yoga, right? In that downward dog pose. Get in that downward dog pose and just breathe. Just breathe. Digital detox, reclaiming your time. So digital detox. Oh my goodness. Stop staring at your freaking phone all the time. Stop doom scrolling Facebook. Wow. Amazing art therapy. So finger painting with your own feces on the wall. Okay? Right? Finger painting, time with animals. You can also combine that with the previous one. Right? You can finger paint with your gross cat's poo-poo, because you're probably a cat mom. Right? You can finger paint with your cat's doo-doo on the walls. You can draw little pictures of, what do millennials draw? What's on your millennials' mind? What do you guys? You could draw pictures of emojis, of thumbs up emojis, right? You can pull out the doo-doo from your cat's litter box that you haven't cleaned out in the last 3 months because you're completely useless to yourself. You can do some self-care. You can do self-care. You can get that vocal fry. You can do some self-care, and you can just finger paint all your kitty litter doo-doo up on the walls. Okay? Just do it. Just do it. You'll feel better eventually. Cooking nutritious meals. Cook for yourself. Well, that's assuming you know how to cook. Because if you're 90% of people out there, you've never prepared a meal for yourself in your life. But yeah, actually, none of these things are really bad advice, right? Get off your freaking devices. Learn to cook for yourself. How is this self-help? This is just normal stuff that normal people should do, except freaking yoga. Move your body. Fitness on a budget. Oh my goodness. Self-care. Move your body. Move your body.
That's racism, man. I love to racism, bro.
Getting super chats. Quentin, what's up, dude? Super chat from Quentin says, miss you, boo. Well, you know what? I appreciate that. I really appreciate that super chat. Appreciate the support. I miss you so much, Quentin. I miss you so much. I had to do now that I'm back, I'm so happy that we can do this self-care together. We can continue doing self-care. Right? This super novel self-care. Move your body. Nature walks and forest bathing. That's a funny term now. Forest bathing. Go bathe in the forest. Journaling. Journaling for reflection and release. Meditation and mindfulness practice. So there you go, guys. It's so novel, all this stuff. Wow. Actually, writing stuff down. Walking. Moving your freaking body every once in a while. Just, wow. Absolutely amazing. Amazing. So, according to Time Magazine, according to this article's summary of a Time Magazine article, according to Time Magazine, the millennial generation spends a ton of money on self-care. Self-care. What is this? What is self-care? Why is everybody so obsessed with it? Right? There's, I don't think there's ever been a generation. The boomer generation was kind of called like the me generation for a long time. They were known as a highly selfish bunch, a very selfish bunch. And the millennials, of course, raised by the boomers. Some of them may have been raised by some Gen Xers, but most of the millennials were raised by baby boomers. And the boomers were known to be a super self-indulgent.
Wake up, Homo sapiens.
Ooh, there it is. There's the new wake up, Homo sapiens. Wake up, boomers. We had an expert in self-help jumping in there. All right, let me read these super chats and then we'll get back into this article. Gary, through $25, says, do you think one of the future dialectics will be the vegans versus the bug eaters? Well, the vegans will not eat bugs. They won't eat the bugs. So they'll be public enemy number one. Bugs are murder, the vegans will say. Appreciate that super chat. Thank you very much. Gary, shout out to everybody supporting the stream. Big support from Jay, from Kristen, from Quentin, from Gary. We had a fun stream on Jay's channel the other day. back to this article here. Let me find where I was. All right, according to Time magazine, millennials spend twice as much as baby boomers on self-care necessities, including exercise routines, diet plans, life coaching, therapy, and apps to enhance their personal well-being. So this is a really interesting concept. Now, the baby boomers, they weren't really on like a subscription service for all this stuff, right? Like they couldn't pay for apps. The baby boomers, they definitely had their self-care. A lot of it, which was, drugs, either recreational or pharmaceutical, sex, right? And by self-care, we mean self-indulgence, of course. Because really, that's what this comes down to. The obsession with the self, the obsession with your own feelings, right? This is what's exalted, right? When people are feeling depressed, right? When people are feeling down. Whereas, an actually wise piece of advice for somebody with depression is often the exact opposite of what these therapists and stuff will tell people. All right, so when people feel depressed, they'll go to a therapist. They'll go to a secular therapist who's took a few college courses, and we'll tell them to buy some scented candles. And if they don't tell them exactly what they want to hear, these people will just find a new therapist. Right? So, I mean, there's how many marriages, how many relationships, how many lives have been wrecked by just terrible, weirdo, creepy therapist advice? Right? I mean, therapy, the whole therapy thing. I mean, look, I'm not trying to rip on everybody that goes to therapy. Oh wait, yeah, I'm ripping on everybody that goes to therapy. If you have a therapist that tells you to buy some scented candles, to do yoga, or primal scream therapy in your shower, and just reinforces your spite for your parents, for your loved ones, and tells you that you're not the problem, everyone else is the problem. Just cut out the toxic influences with your life. If you're going to a therapist like that, I mean, it's you reached a dead end. To say it nicely, it's a dead end. All right, but it's like it seems like the root of a lot of this is really this extreme self-love that millennials have. Right? I mean, there's the stereotype of the millennials were babied, and the boomers, all you millennials got your participation trophies. When I was a young man, when I was a boy, we didn't get participation trophies. We got real trophies when we earned them. We earned our trophies. If you millennials would just work hard, go get a job, then you can get a nice house, a nice car, and have a nice life. Right? It's like the boomers are completely delusional to a certain extent of like what it actually is like for Zoomers, millennials, the younger generations. What's after the Zoomers? What are they going to be called? Just like the absolutely broken, the nothing generation. What comes after Zoomers? All right, but the boomers are kind of right in that the millennials were just completely coddled. But the freaking boomers are the ones who did that. The boomers are the ones who did that. The millennial generation was told that they could do anything. You're going to be the president. If you just work hard enough, you can be the president. You can be a movie star. You can be a great scientist. You could go to the moon. You're going to go to Mars. You're going to have flying cars. You're going to cure cancer. You're going to do it. Trust me. You just work hard enough.
I love soy.
You just work hard enough, right? So the millennials had this extreme narcissism cooked into them from the time they were children. I mean, a lot of their parents were so disconnected from reality and kind of just worship their kids and try to live through their kids. I mean, they're raised by a generation that was totally traumatized too by fear of being blown up by the atomic bomb, traumatized by decades of unnecessary wars, of ridiculous, pointless wars, traumatized by a mass media. There's a constant barrage of hypersexualized imagery of the drug, sex, rock and roll stuff that the boomers were just soaked in. So the narcissism of the boomer generation transferred into the millennial generation, who then got digital appendages to be constantly narcissistically projecting their image that they could then worship basically through social media, right? I mean, social media did a number on this generation. So this the self-love, the self-regard, and the self-obsession and the obsession with happiness, right? This idea that like you should be pursuing happiness, and that what's the meaning of life, man? It's just to be happy. It's just to be happy. And all these 90s movies that the millennials were raised on, they're so empty. It's like a candy cane culture. So you're chasing this candy cane of happiness, right? You know how that candy cane stuff is. It's like air. It's like crystallized microplastics, air puffed and sugarized with a bunch of high fructose corn syrup. So it's like you're spiritually consuming cotton candy your whole life, and looking at yourself as this, as the measure of all things, your own happiness, your feelings, the most important thing. And that's kind of the complete opposite of what real, actual good advice is to somebody who's feeling empty, who's feeling the draw of nihilism that our culture's trying to suck us into, right? Well, we should be really looking to real wisdom, right? So it's like there's this great quote. Here we go, from Saint Ambrose of Optina, right? So it's like in the Orthodox Church, you have actual role models. You have the saints. You have actual role models to look up to. Whereas in the weaponized pop culture, your role models are a bunch of idiots. Your role models are fake, are literally fake caricatures of people, these movie stars and these celebrities. These are caricatures of human beings projected at you on a screen, performing for a camera, that then people then emulate and become like them, and you want to become these, freaking TikTok stars. They ask Zoomers.
That's racism, man. I love to racism, bro.
ask Zoomers what they want to be, right? Like the elementary school and middle school kids, when asked what they want to be and what they want to do when they grow up, they say they want to be YouTubers. They want to be influencers. That's the term. They want to be influencers. Why? Why do you want to influence people? What are you going to influence them to do? All right. So there's like a constant flow of people who want to be influencers. To influence who? To do what? All right. They're being influenced by a culture that's completely weaponized against them. In an internet environment, in a social media environment where the algorithms are designed to select, amplify, and popularize certain types of people in order to get certain types of behavior from viewers. So kids want to become influencers, and they're being influenced by the lowest common denominator, fruitcake, freak show, dinks, and weirdos. And then they just go out and repeat that stuff and memify the entire culture with these behaviors. It's awful. It's freaking whack. Whereas, like, that we need, I need self-care. I really just need to do me. Right? The answer to this, the answer to the self-improvement, self-care, self-reflection, worshiping culture is to stop caring so much about this false sense of self that you developed, right? To stop regarding yourself as the measure of all things, to stop regarding your own happiness as the most important thing, right? Maybe that suffering, that depression's there to remind you to get the heck back on the path. That what is depression? So St. Ambrose of Optina, this is a great quote, says, depression comes also for other reasons. From offended self-love, because we're not getting our own way. Also from vainglory, when one sees that his equals enjoy greater privileges. From stressful situation during which our faith in God's providence and hope in his mercy and omnipotent help is put to the test. We often lack faith and hope, and that's why we are tormented. So that offended self-love, right? This is actually good advice. It's actual good advice. St. John of Kronstadt, here's another great quote. St. John of Kronstadt, our self-love and pride manifest themselves, especially in impatience and irritability, when some of us cannot bear even the slightest unpleasantness intentionally, or even unintentionally, caused us by others, or obstacles lawfully or unlawfully, intentionally or unintentionally opposed to us by men, or caused by the objects surrounding us. So it's a self-entitlement. It's self-love and pride that leads you to be obsessed with, I need to set boundaries. Right? And of course I'm not saying like you shouldn't set boundaries. Right? Boundaries are crucial. Boundaries are crucial, but the improper use and the improper place of these things is what makes it ridiculous. So yeah, the self-care generation, the self-care obsession is really, it's a cruel replacement for actual healing, which actually real healing involves a stopping of this narcissistic performative obsession with the self. This is why like social media and all this stuff, people want to make improvements in their life, right? But then it often just becomes a play for their smartphone, right? They want to get the IG likes. They want to get the Instagram likes. They want to get the clout online. They want to get the performative aspect of actually making changes without making real changes. All right, there's another interesting quote here from Saint Nikita. Saint Nikita Stefatos. Self-love is a seed of death. Deep-rooted faith is preeminent among the virtues, since such faith strips the soul of doubt and rids it completely of self-love. For nothing so prevents someone newly engaged in spiritual warfare from practicing the commandments as this pernicious vice of self-love. So all the self-help stuff, so much of it is just about, it's about self-love, right? Not, accepting the reality of yourself and your shortcomings in order to try to overcome them, which only, like the real overcoming of shortcomings, that only comes from real healing. And real healing doesn't come from our own deluded efforts at appearing a certain way. Real healing comes from embracing the truth. Real healing comes from God, ultimately. So it's this idea that if you just sit and chant some mantras and meditate to yourself about how everyone else is so toxic, and just love yourself. You gotta love yourself. You're perfect, just how you are. Everything happens for you. The whole universe is all about you. It's like this extreme narcissism in this in the New Age self-help stuff, which there's a big overlap in the New Age and self-help stuff. All right, so here we go. We got some super chats. That was a long rant. Let's read these super chats. Where'd that go? Schizo Benny throwing $10 out through YouTube. Thank you very much. To spread the word for us. Love you, brother. Glad you're back. Yeah, man, it's always nice. Always nice getting out and chatting with you bigots here on YouTube. Joy donated $5. Said, glad you're back, Tristan. God bless. Thank you very much, Joy. You guys, the Streamlabs, I think the Streamlabs is a better way. Some people, people prefer to do it via YouTube. Streamlabs is a great way to support via the super chats. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to get into the fun stuff. Now we're getting into the fun stuff. We're going to talk. We got to check in on our poly friends. What is polyamory? We've talked about the push of poly quite a bit in the past. Here's this article from Time magazine. The surprising evolution of American polyamory. The political evolution of American polyamory from Time magazine. With this image, two women and a man, arms and legs linked, lying on the grass at the first Elysian Park love-in on March 26th, 1967 in Los Angeles. So you guys can really thank the boomers. You can thank the boomers for all these cringy millennials and Gen Z freaking TikTok tards promoting polyamory and just dumpster firing their lives into the ground for the public to watch. These folks that are engaging in relationships that are destined to disintegrate, right? Like a Destiny, whose relationship is now disintegrated, right? These people who want to pretend like marriage is some sort of just a secular institution. That marriage is some sort of a thing that you just, hey, we're going to get married. Let's get married. It's just like an agreement between two people. Those same type of people will get married and then also live polyamorously. And we've got Time magazine here trying to normalize it. Polyamory seems to have burst upon the American mainstream over the past 2 decades. The deluge of podcasts, TV shows, books, and magazine articles detailing polycules, metamors. That sounds kind of cool. A metamor, come on. That sounds pretty cool. Thruples. That sounds super gay. Threesomes and moresomes. That sounds disgusting. Testifies to the growing number of Americans willing to jettison monogamy. Ew, monogamy, bro. So gross. Ew. Voices celebrating or lamenting polyamory's newfound popularity come from predictable sources. Though studies have shown that Americans from across the political spectrum have embraced forms of consensual non-monogamy, it tends to be liberal progressives who publicly laud polyamory as the next stage of the sexual revolution, while religious conservatives bemoan it as the next step in a more than half a century of moral decline. Yet, setting polyamory within the longer history of American sexual descent uncovers the complicated relationship between politics and sexual freedom that defies simplistic categorization. It defies simplistic categorization. And then we will proceed to simplistically categorize it consistently. So the term polyamory, they coined it in the early 90s, the claim is here, after a coalition of ethical non-monogamists, came together to give a name to similar lifestyles many of them had practiced for decades. So this new brand of gay was invented in the 1990s, and though sometimes confused with polygamy, polyamory is distinct in that it tends to be gender egalitarian and queer affirming. I mean, that's whenever I'm looking for a new type of gay to claim I am, I definitely want to make sure that it's gender egalitarian and queer affirming. Okay, and you couldn't get any more gender egalitarian and queer confirming than our friends in the polyamory movement. So you got even Time magazine says it's all the rage. They get into a little bit about the history of it, how in the Roaring 20s there was a movement of that kind of prefigured the 60s sexual revolution. They talk about the sexual revolution as if this is some sort of a new concept, and we've talked about this many times on the streams here, how the sexual revolution is an aspect of weaponized revolutionary. It is a part of the revolutionary spirit that always accompanies, precedes, and sometimes proceeds these violent revolutions and overthrows of traditional cultures. So the Bolshevik Revolution was accompanied with a massive sexual revolution. That actually, the Bolsheviks, the Soviets later reversed a lot of the things that went way too far for them because it was so destructive to the fabric of their society and created so many criminal people because young men were being raised by single mothers. And this created a crisis of delinquency, criminality, and degeneracy in that culture. So the Bolsheviks brought about their own little sexual revolution. They had, free love, rampant divorce. You just had to go to a notary to get a divorce. You could claim that you were married with somebody by simply showing that you cohabitated with them, and then go and get a divorce without them even agreeing to a divorce, and then you have to get alimony from that person. So the sexual revolution brought that about. So you could thank this type of stuff for all these obnoxious manosphere dweebs like Andrew Tate. That's like the most popular one right now, who has created quite the stir the last few years, is homosexual lifestyle living Andrew and Tristan Tate, these brothers who cohabitate together with other men and treat women like absolute filth, and regurgitate the manosphere so-called red pill talking points about how it's just not fair for men, bro. All the men's rights stuff, where they get, of course, a little a smidgen of truth in there, and then turn the movement into basically just feminism for dudes. So this is what I've always said about the manosphere, the red pill movement. It's just feminism for men. And it is a reactionary result to the sexual revolution, all the egalitarian women's liberation stuff. So anyways, they get a little bit into the history here. Now what's interesting is that H.G. Wells was also into polyamory, sexual revolution, and this was even before the 1920s. In 1905, he wrote a piece which we're going to look at. I'm not going to have a lot of time to look at all of it, but there's a piece here in A Modern Utopia from H.G. Wells that he wrote in 1905, and his section on women in the modern utopia gets into his sexual liberation philosophy. Remember, he himself was a mega coomer and was super into the ideas of polyamorous relationships, although they were not called polyamory back then. It was more of a free love movement. So H.G. Wells, who of course is kind of a technocrat thinker, Royal Society type character, who helped to set the stage for all the geopolitical machinations and cultural revolutionary machinations in the West during the periods of like World War I and pre-World War II. So H.G. Wells wrote a book called The Open Conspiracy, in which he details the revolutionary worldview that so many of these folks in the Royal Society, that so many of these, it basically shadows the Bolshevik revolutionary movement and is geared towards a global final revolution, which will bring about a world government ruled by the enlightened elite, which of course he saw himself as one of those enlightened elite. And he details that in his book, The Open Conspiracy. And in his other book, he wrote a book called New World Order. Wow. So H.G. Wells himself was obsessed with putting his PP all over the place. He was married twice to women he loved, but neither of whom satisfied him sexually. So insatiable sexual appetite. He loved these women, but they weren't enough for him. He had several long-term relationships as well as innumerable briefer affairs, mostly condoned by his second wife, Jane. Of particular interest, because of the scandal they aroused, were his relationships with 3 young women half his age. As he aged, his insatiable desire to fulfill his animalistic sexual passions continued, and H.G. Wells was involved in a lot of these weird little goofy relationships with a bunch of these prominent Fabians, Cambridge undergrads. Let's see. He invited these women to his Essex country home in 1912. This woman, Rebecca West, to discuss her witty demolition of his novel Marriage in the feminist journal The Free Woman, a meeting that led in due course to the birth of Anthony West on the first day of the First World War. A stormy relationship lasted for 10 years. So he sired children with several women. Let's see. Then there was Maura, Baroness Budberg, a Russian aristocrat who survived the Russian Revolution as the secretary and probably mistress of Maxim Gorky, and with whom Wells slept when staying in Gorky's flat in Petrograd in 1920. So he's interfacing and Coomer facing with these Bolshevik revolutionaries in Petrograd in 1920. So he's involved in polycules with Bolsheviks and all this stuff. And of course, this is H.G. Wells, who was reared by T.H. Huxley. Right here, Aldous Huxley and Julian Huxley's grandfather reared him. He was kind of he came from more of like a middle class family. He wasn't kind of an aristocratic family. He wasn't, he didn't have parents in the House of Lords, but he was groomed and raised by very wealthy, influential people like Huxley's. So anyways, that's just to show you that this polyamory movement is not new. It's quite old. It's been around for a long time. And it just happens to be that the most degenerate, psychopath, revolutionary types love this stuff. Which brings us to the cringe. You knew it was coming. We got some Instagram polyamory folks. We got some TikTok polyamory folks. We're going to check out the world of polyamory. We got a YouTuber. And, we got the bread tuber, YouTuber, polyamory folks. We got Destiny. We got little Destiny. We've got Hunter Avalone. I mean, we got some big L's being taken by Destiny and Hunter Avalone. We got to make sure we get to that before the end of this. So here we go. Living the polyamorous dream. Where's the audio?
Polyamorous fantasy come true, and I don't know.
Sorry.
How we built such a dream polycule and such a polyamorous fantasy come true, and I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but it literally took 10 years. Like, first we had to learn how to be polyamorous, then we had to learn how to navigate polyamory while learning to be parents, and then, pandemic. On top of all that, just in general, like learning how to date, because my partner and I, we didn't really have much dating experience before ultimately meeting each other and getting married. And so like when we opened up, we were like, what are dating apps? How do you date people? How do you build those connections? Then we both had various learning and growing to do on why we were attracting partners who were ultimately not compatible for us. For me, I was attracting a lot of emotionally unavailable people because, hashtag mommy daddy issues. So I was dating a lot of people, but none of them were sustainable, and thus a polycule was not being built. I also went through a phase where I was dating a lot of inexperienced polyamorous people because of both perceived and also very real scarcity mindset. Like, the city I live in is not a big city. The scarcity is not a mindset, it's real. So I would date people who were either new to polyamory or were just trying it out because they wanted to date me, and as you can imagine, those relationships didn't last very long. So are we living the polyamorous dream now? Fuck yes. But it took over a decade to get here. So, don't. People want to know how we built such a dream polycule and such a polyamorous fantasy come true.
Oh my goodness. Make it stop. Okay. My goodness. All right, so you got a lot of these pages. Decolonizing Love. Decolonizing Love. Polyamory. Your partner and their girlfriend broke up, but you're heartbroken too because she was the best meta ever. A polyamorous breakup can have a significant impact on the entire polycule. So I get polycule, for those of you who don't know, is a term for when multiple retarded people get into terrible, completely insane relationships. Right? So monogamy is when is normal. Monogamy is what is blessed by God, what man is made for. Now, a polycule is when completely self-destructed, insane people all get together and help to make each other more miserable. A polyamorous breakup can have a significant impact on the entire polycule, especially when metas have formed close bonds. It's acceptable to maintain a relationship with a meta after breaking up with the hinge, but you'll still long for those cherished kitchen table poly moments. Good metas are a valuable addition. However, you have no control over the duration of their relationship with your partner. You will inevitably experience the heartbreak of your polycule dynamic shifting and that's completely normal. Allow yourself the space to grieve as well. Wow, that's such what wisdom from Decolonizing Love. Decolonizing Love. So these are relationship anarchists.
Don't last. I've been with my partner Nick for 13 years and my other romantic interest for 2 years. My partner Nick has been with his other partner for 3 years. But what about STIs? We have a safe sex policy for everyone in our polycule and everyone gets regularly tested. Polyamorous people just want to sleep around. I'm demisexual. What's that? I need an emotional connection with someone before I'm sexually interested in them. That basically means for me is that if I'm not dating somebody, I'm not gonna sleep with them. Okay, well, you know what I think? What? I think you're projecting how you would act if it wasn't for the confines of monogamy. You would sleep around. You don't know how to discuss and manage safe sex with multiple partners, and you haven't got the emotional depth and vision to love responsibly multiple partners.
Dude, okay. Look, this chick whose freaking body mods are giving her a dang speech impediment. Like, she's got your gross little tongue piercing. It's giving you a lisp, lady. I'm demisexual. I thought she was going to say I'm attracted to demonic activity. I'm demisexual. I'm demon sexual. I'm turned on by people that's completely demonized. My goodness. My goodness, woman. Okay. Okay. There's too much. There's too much. Polyamorous Tony on TikTok. There's like a huge polyamory account, apparently. I'm not watching you. He's also demisexual. Are you not allowed to use the word sexual on TikTok? So you have to use egg. The truth, he's a demisexual. Needs emotional connection to get turned on, so hookups aren't his thing. Man, I'm so glad you guys danced to really drive the point. Now I identify as bi, and we're manifesting a throuple someday. All right, one thing you're gonna find when I was just scrolling through, just looking at a lot of this stuff, you're gonna find it's a lot of black dudes that are convincing. It's a lot of black dudes convincing their women to get a polycule or a throuple going. Like this, this is like the ultimate secular black dude flex is convincing multiple women to cohabitate with them. This is very common. All right. Let me come over here to the chat. What's up, bigots? We had somebody that was having some mental health up in the chat. He had to be removed. Evan over here complaining and bitching and whining in the chat. Bro, I understand when you're having mental healths. If you have mental health, it's great to tell everybody about it. It's great to share your feelings with us. But you're gone, buddy. You're just complaining the whole stream over here. Just complaining the whole stream. You could just head back over there to Reddit. Go back over to r atheists and r/polycule and calm down, man. Like, I'm not your wife's boyfriend, dude. I'm not your wife's boyfriend. You don't have to be mad at me. Okay? It's not my fault. Right? Remember, Evan, it didn't happen to you. It happened for you. Okay? So, Evan, you're out of here. All right, guys. Thank you guys who are supporting the stream with them super chats. Make sure to throw those super chats up. Throw those super chats up via Streamlabs. There is a link that is pinned up there. Support the stream. And then also support yourself. You can support yourself and support your own health by heading over to Chalk.com. Chalk.com is running big deals this month, all throughout the end of the year, I think, until January. And I'm pretty sure this code is going to be working for the next few weeks, but then it's going away, guys. We've been running this one for a while. If you sign up for a subscription at Chalk.com on any of the top quality adaptogens and herbs and natural supplements over there, they even have a completely awesome new Chad mode pre-workout. You hit that Chad mode up. You guys want to get chatted up. All you guys in the chat, all you ladies in the chat, all you gentlemen in the chat, those pre-workouts that have been on the market for years, even like the ones that are supposed to be quality from like Onnit and some of these companies, are crap. You look at the ingredients on these things, they're full of preservatives, they're full of filler, they're overdosed on synthetic caffeine, that crap that gives you freaking heart palpitations. They're giving huge doses, way too much caffeine, and there's a bunch of these fillers and colorants. That's like the worst thing. All these pre-workouts, you got tons of like blue dye, red number 49, blue 17, all these weird colorants that we know are endocrine disruptors, that we know mess with the central nervous system. I mean, like the red dyes are notorious for causing neurological issues in kids, right? They've been linked to like all sorts of awful symptoms in children. So get off that crap. Get off of that crap and get on the, wait, where we go? There we go. Get up on that Chalk Chad mode. Also there we go, the Tomcat 100 extract. The Tomcat 100. I take that one every day, right? Powerful adaptogens. Tomcat's like a super adaptogen. And for men, fantastic for improving testosterone production. It's been clinically proven to increase testosterone production in men. Shilajit, I take the Shilajit every day. Also the daily. There's also Shilajit in the daily. The daily is a great formulation. You can get all those. And if you subscribe for a monthly subscription on those at Chalk.com, you can get 53% off and lock in that 53% off for life. So that 53% off, if you use that on a subscription, if you get that monthly subscription on the Tomcat, on the Shilajit, so you don't have to remember to re-up. First of all, you're going to be supporting your own health, and then you're going to be supporting this stream as well, and supporting a based company run by a bunch of based dudes, actually just run by a few based dudes. Okay, uses the daily. We got that big 53 life subscription. It's going to get you 53% off for all bigots for life, right? And it's also guaranteed to increase your bigotry by at least 53% for life. That's irreversible 53% increase in bigotry. Climate change massively accelerated. For every bottle of Chalk, you get that Tomcat 100 and the Shilajit are both clinically proven to improve testosterone production naturally. So it's not like these freaking nutty things that these fitness influencers, influenzas, these freaking TikTok influenzas are marketing a bunch of these crap chemical-filled nonsense supplements. Chalk's all about purity, the highest quality, organic and beyond organic and wild crafted. The Tomcat 100 is wild crafted. So get on that Tomcat 100 extract. Get your hormones right while it's still legal, while you're still allowed to, and you can use that code BIG53LIFE at Chalk.com. Make sure to use that to lock in the deals on the website that are site-wide. There are also site-wide discounts. So on that first order, you might get a discount tacked on to the discount that you're already getting with that code, 53% off subscriptions. Remember, that's just on subscriptions. That's the way to go. That's the way we do it here, so we don't have to remember to re-up every month. So get up on that Chalk. B says, I'm well aware of the Chalk to Chad pipeline. That's right. That's right. All right, guys. So, the polycules. Now, one of the most internet famous polycules out there is run by a blue-haired, self-proclaimed feminist, bisexual, named Destiny. He's a little man named Destiny. This little dude called Destiny has had actually a pretty bad week, sadly for him. His polycule is falling apart. All right, now we're not here to hate on Destiny. I know there's probably a lot of really big Destiny fans out there. A lot of really big aggressive defenders of whatever it is that the good grown-ups at the government, right? A lot of center-left, aggressively, slightly center-left political analysts out there in the Destiny-verse who are just so sad and just so surprised. Right, you guys got to be so surprised at the demise of Destiny's little polycule here. So we're not here to hate on Destiny. We're here to laugh at and mock Destiny. Was it Trump? Did Trump used to say it couldn't have happened to a better guy? Couldn't happen to a better guy. So Destiny's polycule has fallen apart. So this is just like this image right here. This really sums up polyamorous relationships, right? The 1,000-yard stare of a blue-haired, self-proclaimed feminist. You don't own her, bro. Bro, you don't own her.
Bigger men fuck my wife friend.
Worn out.
This is, I haven't seen this
male
edit.
Vulnerability
This
is beautiful, Destiny. We need to encourage men to undo their toxic male vulnerabilities. That male vulnerability is beautiful, Destiny.
Look how he oh man, it's like when my little 7-year-old boy, my little 7-year-old son, when I'm like joking around with him or telling him something funny or telling him it's all right, dude, it's all good. That's like the shoulder pat and shake. Look at this.
That male
so
vulnerability.
sad. This much larger this black dude dancing with his wife. This is so sad. Look, all right. Shouldn't be laughing because this dude looks miserable. It's pretty sad. Like you could see the hurt. But you bring this upon yourself when you enter into these type of ridiculous, retarded Coomer relationships. I mean, the polyamory relationship is a result of an extreme level of delusion. You have to be extremely deluded to think that this is ever going to work out. That this is ever going to work out, especially if your chick comes from another country, is with you, maybe with you for the green card, right? I mean, people have always said this, I guess, about their relationship because she's from, I think she's Swedish, because she's from Sweden. Now, I don't know. Why would you want an American passport? If you're from Sweden, you can go most places anyways. But I guess if you live in some of the newly caliphated areas of Sweden, of New Nigeria, Sweden, then maybe, I don't know, if you'd want to escape to America. But, you know, this is an influencer, I guess. I don't know. The term bread tuber, does that apply? Is he a bread tuber? I think bread tuber applies more to like the communists, like Vaush, like the openly communist, openly socialist dudes like Vaush and Hassan Piker. So I don't think that would really apply to this little guy. But this little fella, this little blue-haired fella, is a YouTuber. Seems like the types of relationships that guys like this are going to be attracting, right? As an influencer who looks like this, right? Like a dude that looks like this with freaking blue hair He's like 5'2.5". Right? He's like a few thumbs taller than legal midget status. These guys are going to be kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as like women anyways. So him being a relatively successful e-celeb, right, which is also just the bottom of the barrel of mankind, to be honest, right? Like e-celebrities, left-center political pundit e-celebs are, I mean, these are not people to look up to. Newsflash, right? Spoiler alert. These are not people to aspire to want to be like. Okay, so he's kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel, anyways. Okay, says he's an e-girl. Yeah, so he's basically he's an e-boy. Yeah. So I mean, it's a strategy, you know. I think the whole reducing everything to like these theories of like hypergamy and reducing all male behavior to posturing to try to get chicks is oversimplified, but some people are just legit sex addict weirdo coomers, right? Some people are just total sex goblins raised on a diet of Pornhub and just completely depleted in their morals and in their T levels, right? Like, just, I mean, you could see in this image right here, this guy's got to get chalked up. We have to get little Destiny a bottle of that Chalk Tomcat 100 or the Chalk Daily or that Chalk Shilajit ASAP. We need to get him a bottle of Chad Mode. We need to get him off the Adderalls and onto that Chad Mode and get in a proper diet, get into the gym, and feel better about yourself, dude. I mean, this is like the look of defeat is so sad.
That male vulnerability is beautiful, Destiny. Yeah. We need to encourage male vulnerability is beautiful, Destiny. Yeah. We need to encourage men to undo their toxic masculinity.
No, I'm good. If I can hate women so much.
Oh, that's super sad. It is pretty sad. But I mean, come on. There's no real love in a freaking polyamorous relationship anyways. So although it's sad, it's pathetic that anybody would have thought this would work. It's completely ridiculous that anybody would have thought this would be a good idea. So here we have, let's see. All right. So for some background on Destiny's vision of a healthy relationship.
The 5 best sexual partners that I've had in my life were all the people that I were in the long-term relationships with. So, like on a one-night stand, like it's hard to know. Like one-night stands aren't even that fun sexually, depending on what you're looking for.
I can agree that the longer you're with somebody, the better sex gets. So why is she not enough?
Why is she not enough? It's,
Why
I mean,
am I
like,
not enough, Steve?
it's kind of like asking, Steven. It's kind of like if you've got like a close friend, but then you've got other friends, like, well, why is that one friend not enough? Yeah. Because in life, sometimes variety is fun. Sometimes I want to be with a girl that's Hispanic or Asian. Sometimes I want to be with somebody that is into something that's slightly different. Marriage is not a friendship.
It
I didn't
is
say
not
marriage
the
was
same
a
as
friendship, but marriage...
You notice how it's, women are just like, it's like a snack, right? Like, hey, sometimes I want to eat some Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Sometimes I just want regular Cheetos. Sometimes I want spearmint gum. Sometimes I want, some nicotine gum. It's relationships, sexual union. I mean, this is something that is to look at sex like this as if it's just an afternoon snack. This is so unhealthy, so ridiculous, and it's so sad. Right, but this is the result, right? A bunch of sex addicts fooling a bunch of vulnerable women. I mean, most of these poly relationships are dudes that have convinced women that, hey, this is what you deserve, right? Oh yeah, and your wife's not enough for you. You want some of that Asian flavor. You want some taquitos every once in a while. You want to get some taquitos. You want a little extra dark, extra crispy every now and then. It's like just looking at sex as a freaking snack. It's so degenerate. It's so sad. But it's self-destructive. It's really, you're destroying your own soul. You're giving up a piece of yourself every single time you do this, right? And they have done extensive studies, and it is a fact that the more sexual partners somebody has, and this is more pronounced in women, the more sexual partners somebody has, the less able they ever are to pair bond, the less able they ever will be to actually pair bond and have a healthy relationship. So the more sexual partners somebody has, the more resentful towards their new sexual partners they are. So, you guys who are hypersexual, have tons of sexual partners, not only do they start to despise the women that they fool into letting them stick their little worm into, they see these women as stupid. They see them as objects, and they literally dehumanize them. Because to do this to women all the time, you have to turn them into a literal object in your mind. You have to dehumanize them. And this is what happens the more and more you do this, the more you obsess over just over fooling women and sleeping with you. The more you hate them, the more you despise them. I mean, this is why the hypersexual men are more likely to eventually become, bi-curious or identify as bi. This stuff has all been studied. This is reality. So this dude he's a bisexual guy. He's bisexual, apparently. And hypersexualized and obsessed with sex, but it's so sad. Like, look at her face.
It's kind of like if you've got like a close friend, but then you've got other friends. Like, well, why is that one friend not enough? Yeah. Because in life, sometimes variety is fun. Sometimes I want to be with a girl that's Hispanic or Asian. Sometimes I want to be with somebody that is into something that's slightly different.
Friendship.
I didn't say marriage was a friendship, but marriage to me isn't just about my going and a lot of aspects to my marriage that I share with my wife that's really unique to my wife that I don't share with other people. It's just not one of those things.
What the fuck?
The 5 best.
I mean, it's super sad. I mean, you could see it in her face here, like the dead-eyed 1,000-yard stare. I mean, she's hurting. This person's hurting inside. But they're both kind of torturing each other. So, all right, there's that. Now,
I'm in a poly relationship. The reason why I'm in a poly relationship is because I don't give a fuck if my girlfriend goes and fucks another guy, because I know she's coming back to me at the end of the night. Because we love each other. Because I'm a cool fucking person. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if my girlfriend goes and fucks another guy. I'm in a poly relationship. The reason why
someone in the chat says she seems kind of sadistic and lost too. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. That's 1,000-yard stare. It's kind of like a placeholder for who knows what's going on inside. I mean, it could be a completely sadistic, manipulative. It's like they're both not well. So it is pretty sad. But like, how are you even gonna call this a marriage? All these people are like, "Oh, Destiny's getting a divorce, dude." He never had a marriage. That's not a marriage. That's a situationship, right? That's a convenient situationship that involves some stupid legal contract. That's not a marriage. Marriage is holy matrimony. So all these secular people, they want to ape Christian practices. They want to mimic Christian practices, co-opt Christian practices, and turn them and make like a secular mockery of them. And that's what this marriage is. It's a secular mockery of what real marriage is. Now, I mean, from the Orthodox Christian perspective, marriage is actually a sacrament. It's a sacrament that happens in the context of the church. It's not, marriage isn't just a quick legal contract so you can get your fling from Sweden to come over and hang out in your country while you guys, so you guys can be e-celeb streamers together. That's not marriage. That's not marriage. All right, come over here to the chat. What's going on? Bigots in the chat. The bigots in the polycule in the chat over here. What's going on, guys? Make sure to support the stream over here. Send those donations over through Streamlabs. If you feel so inclined, which hopefully you do. Remember, guys, sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Send your support. Show that you care by sharing. Send your support over there, or if you got any super chats. The super chats are turned on YouTube as well. Thank you guys who support the streams, who share the videos, like the videos, do all that stuff. Do all the normal stuff like y'all normally do. Make sure to share it, like it, do all that. All right, here, let's see what's next. So we got a big W for Destiny. Oh goodness, this is the saddest part. Here's the guy that he's being displaced by. Oops. Wrong paste. There we go. Nope. I need to... Sorry. Wrong link. Here we go. Here it is. So the guy that he's being displaced for is this dude. I mean, this is he in her lap? This guy, is he wearing a dress and in her lap? Anyways, it's like right before our eyes. I mean, somebody needs to get some chalk to this young man. We need to get these dinks. Look at these two dinks. These freaking dinks. We got a twink in a dink relationship. Somebody get this twinky dink some chalk right now. Somebody get that guy. My friend, you need a steak every day for a year. You need to get some sunshine. Oh my goodness, I don't think it's even Photoshopped. You'd almost think it was Photoshopped. I don't believe it is though. Sad. All right, well, probably a step up. That's definitely a step up from Lil Destiny. Okay, now, next up, Hunter Avallone. I guess this is like maybe a Destiny adjacent type character. I'm not very familiar with him. I do know that he used to be, so this guy, I guess he used to be kind of like right-wing grifter, and then he shifted the grift to leftist griftage. I don't know everything about him, and I'm glad. I'm very glad I don't know everything about him. But this is pretty crazy. All right, let's see. I'm going to have to zoom in on this so you guys can see. This young man, I guess he was in like an open relationship.
I am a soy boy.
That's it.
I love soy.
He was in an open relationship, then got a divorce, and I think this is his girlfriend. So he was divorced after being poly, so took a little poly L. Now he's got this girlfriend, and you guys in the chat might have to inform me on all the lore. I do not know all the lore about this. Let's see. Okay, so here's him with his girlfriend, December 8th. Then later that day, Warning, graphic. I'm still trying to process this, and I'm most likely in shock as I write this, but only a few hours ago, Holly's ex-boyfriend Conrad showed up at my apartment building with a shotgun. He shot through my building door, injuring Holly's leg in the process. I recorded the final moments. This dude recorded this. I recorded the final moments in which we were hiding on the back porch. You can hear him shoot at police before ultimately taking his own life. In my own effing apartment hallway. Still trying to process this. Holly and I are physically okay, but mentally, this is going to do some serious damage. Holly has been amazing, and she's been incredibly brave and strong through this ordeal. Wait, and this dude recorded this and posted it. Like, this guy witnessed, or didn't witness it, but was involved in the process which resulted in somebody's violent self-end. And this is what he decided to do. Record it. What reality are these freaking people inhabiting? How is that your instinct? All right, let's see. There was where did the video go? All right, here's the video that he uploaded. Hopefully this is okay for YouTube. He blurs out her leg. It does show there's a little bit of blood coming from her leg. Looks like she caught some shot, right? Like, I guess it was a shotgun. I don't know if it was like buckshot or bear shot or something, bird shot. This poor girl caught that in the leg. Let me just say one more thing about, all right, so reading his post too. He shot through my building door, injuring Holly's leg in the process. I don't know, it's so Zoomer, millennial, like narcissistic, e-celeb weird, the way he even frames this. I mean, just the fact that he posted this, like, you're getting shot at, and your first instinct is to post on Twitter? You want to tweet it? You're going to live tweet your own freaking possible death? Like, this is crazy. This is madness. I'm still trying to process this. So let me make a social media post about it. What kind of sick, twisted, degenerate culture do we live in when this is somebody's first, this is what they want to do when they're almost dying? All right, and here's the post from his girlfriend. This is wild. Domestic violence warning. I'm in the hospital. Conrad showed up to Hunter's house with a shotgun and shot me in the leg. We are safe now, and Hunter's thankfully unharmed. Conrad was shot dead. Really struggling right now. WTF just happened. What? Are you kidding me? All right, so I'm not sure if this is completely accurate backstory information, but the lore, I mean, it is from an account on Twitter called Fentanyl Blow Dart. So, and he's a scientist. Fentanyl Blow Dart, scientist. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this has got to be true. So hopefully this isn't misinformation. I'm going to say it must be true because it is from Fentanyl Blow Dart, who's scientist. Backstory on the Hunter Avalon happening. Conrad, the shooter, and Holly were together for 11 years. Uh-oh. Getting super chats. Thank you guys for the super chats. I'll read those in a bit. Keep them coming too, guys. Keep them coming too. We really appreciate the support. Take all the support we can get here via super chats on YouTube or through the Streamlabs. So, backstory on Hunter Avalon happening by top scientist at Fentanyl Blow Dart on Twitter. Conrad, the shooter, and Holly were together for 11 years. They have an open relationship. We're in a polycule. Both mentally ill. Made content about being a mentally ill couple, destigmatizing mental illness. TikToks and Twitch streams. I mean, you could have just said that. TikTok and Twitch streams. I mean, you don't have to be redundant with all the mental health stuff. Hunter Avalone joins their creator Polycule. Holly leaves Conrad altogether for Hunter, then starts calling Conrad an abuser online for 2 months, airing dirty laundry, putting himself on blast and canceling him. Hunter Avalone calls out Conrad, saying, "I'll debate you." What, bro? She's not your girl anymore, bro. You want to debate it? Sends his fans to harass Conrad into accepting his debate stream. Conrad puts air tags on Holly's stuff, so he tried to track her with air tags. And Hunter's location, planning to murder Hunter, but shooting Holly in the leg instead. Conrad shoots himself, and oh my goodness. Open relationships take another L this week. Wow. Okay, just October 13th. That's a month ago. Wait, what's the day today? No, a month and a half ago. That's Conrad. Oh my goodness. His account's locked, I guess. Private, posts are protected. Dude, this is dark. Having lunch with this cutie. So, that's like a month and a half ago. Wow. Wowza. All right. Fentanyl blow dart. That does seem like a likely story. Maybe that's accurate. All right. Let's see. I don't know if I should. All right. Hopefully YouTube's cool about this. I don't think it's too graphic.
Are you recording?
Conrad
has
out.
Shot Holly in the leg.
You can see it, you can see some red, but it's blurred out. Be nice.
Excuse me?
Dude, are you okay? This is like a sketch. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, I'm 10 seconds in and my mind is freaking blown. What is this?
Are you recording?
She's in shock. She's in shock. She looks like she got grazed, or she didn't get hit directly with the contents of that shotgun shell. She looks like she took a few. She took some shot to the leg.
Recording? Conrad has
She'll
shot
be all
Holly
right.
in the leg.
She's moaning.
Excuse me?
But listen to him.
Conrad has... Are you recording?
Are you recording? Are you recording? Are you recording? Oh, okay. Conrad has shot Holly in the leg. Dude, if this was a serious wound, which it doesn't seem like it is, I mean, it's serious enough, she's going to have to go to the hospital. She's going to have to get that, whatever it is, buckshot, deer shot, bird shot removed from her leg. But this dude, instead of, here's what you need to do, dumbass. You need to rip your shirt off or take your belt off, tourniquet that leg, and stop the bleeding. It doesn't look like she's not bleeding very bad. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Eerie Fairy. Confirmed. It wasn't buckshot, it was cuck shot. Dude. Why this? I had to read that. Veritas Eterna. Or no, I'm sorry, not Veritas Eterna. The Airy Fairy confirms. He's a ballistics expert, and this is not buckshot, it is cuck shot. So you better take your belt off, rip your shirt off, find something, tourniquet that leg, stop the bleeding, because if she was really hit with something large caliber, that could be terrible. I mean, even you accidentally get a cut, broken glass, something like that on the leg, you need to stop the flow of blood out of the body. But instead, a cuck shot Hunter over here goes full on freaking Twitch streamer, goes full on e-celeb. Are you recording? Are you recording? I'm recording. We're live. Hey, everybody. We're here getting shot by a member of our polycule. This is so surreal. I'm like just thinking in my mind, OMG. Crazy, right? What do you think we should do? Smash the like. Smash that like, guys.
Conrad has shot Holly in the leg. Excuse me?
Make sure to like and subscribe.
We don't know. All I know is I got a call from my landlord that said he was trying to get into the building. The suspect
was on the phone with
sorry.
the cops.
The suspect was trying to get into the building. We don't know. All I know is I got a call from my landlord that said he was trying to get into the building. The suspect, sorry. The suspect was trying to get into the building, and then there was something shady about it. We didn't know.
Yeah, he had a gun under his coat.
And he had a gun under his coat when he came out, and then when we walked up, he's at the door. He's at the door.
Please come in. Please come in.
Please hurry, please.
Wait, okay, so the cops are like outside. This is absolute madness. All right, the cops are outside. The dude's outside with a shotgun, shot through the door. It seems like the door is maybe with an eyes shot.
Trying to get into the building.
Okay, so they ran out the back door. Okay, this is so crazy. This dude. I mean, this is absolute madness. I don't know if he's a Zoomer or a Millennial. I'm gonna go ahead and assume because of his quivering voice. His quivering voice, as J.S. Hansen in the chat says, oh, I'm recording. Hey guys, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm gonna assume that this dude is is of the millennial generation, and I'm gonna say that this is peak millennial right here. You go to answer the door. It's a member of your polycule, who your girlfriend that you're with was just posting selfies with a month and a half ago, having lunch with this cutie. So an estranged member of your polycule is at the door, shotgun full of cuck shot, blasts through the door. A couple of the bits of the shot end up in the leg of your girl. You run with her to the back and you let her post up right in front of a glass door, right? It's like a sliding glass door, it looks like. And she's right in front of this door. I mean, if this guy breaks the door down, I mean, granted, he doesn't have the physical strength to break a door down. So he's not going to break a door down. She's behind the glass. She's behind this plate, this glass door, and her quivering pussy boyfriend is shooting video so that he can get e-clout for this and post it within minutes of the incident, and doesn't have the wherewithal to try to stop the bleeding in her leg, to comfort her or protect her at all. And he's crying to the police on the cell phone, literally shaking on the phone, more afraid than this completely shocked woman who's literally in shock right now, got shot. And she's doing her hair. She's pruning her hair, making sure her hair looks hot.
The suspect,
Look,
sorry.
She's doing her freaking hair.
The suspect, sorry.
Looking is she looking at herself in the mirror, or is she looking at the front door where the suspect is with a shotgun? It kind of seems like she's probably looking to see if this dude who's trying to kill her is going to bust down the door, but then also glancing at herself to see how hot she is. Notice that nice forward head posture. Oh my goodness. This is the most insane thing in so many ways.
The suspect was trying to get into the building, and then there was something shady about it. We didn't.
And he has no instinct to protect her at all, right? There's a dude with a gun. She's looking at her front door to see if the dude's gonna break down the door. Dude, you need to be pulling her behind that wall. This is probably not where you should be hiding. Why don't you have a firearm? Why do you not have a way to protect yourself in this situation? Wow. You are a sitting duck. This dude was probably cheering on the defund the policers, and now he's quivering like a little soy pussy on the phone to the police, asking them to bring him some chicken nuggies and a bottle of Soylent so that he can get his blood sugar up, because his diabetes is kicking in. Oy vey, bring me a bottle of Soylent, please, officer. I'm just kvetching here. I'm quivering. Oh, this is so scary. Please send the officers with guns so that they can help me. A woman was shot and I'm so scared. Can you bring me a bottle of chocolate Soylent too. My blood sugar feels dangerously low. My stress-induced immune diabetes is kicking in. Like, what? He's just letting her sit here in front of a glass window, like a glass door, instead of protecting her. Are they on the third story? Are they on the third floor?
And he had a gun under his coat when he came out, and then when we walked up...
All right, let's see. He puts... What kind of place is this? Dude, you should be... There's a stairway right there. Is the guy on that balcony over there? It's very hard to tell what's going on. Anyways, this is total insanity. Oh my goodness. Okay, look. They're on the second floor. You could what you need to do, if there's a dude with a gun, you have no way to protect yourself. You need to protect this woman and get her out of there. What you need to do is you need to calmly tell her everything's okay. Shut up. Be quiet. Everything's okay. You're totally fine. Stop the bleeding. Because you're too much of a pussy and an idiot to have any way to protect yourself, or even a drive or desire to protect yourself for the woman with you, you should probably help her to get off that balcony and get the hell out of run away. That's like going to be probably the most rational thing for you, to help her down and run away. You're probably too physically weak to even help hoist her down, but it looks like you're maybe 10 feet off the ground. You should both be able to handle the drop, especially if you climb over the balcony that you're on, hang with your hands off of the floor level, and drop down. You're going to be dropping probably less than 5 feet. But you're hiding there waiting for, somebody says hiding behind a woman while the woman cops come to save him. You're literally hiding behind a woman, using her as a shield. And you're quivering and kvetching and filming a video that you're going to post on Twitter. This is the most masculine polycule member, by the way. Hunter Avalone. Wow, dude. All right, let's see what else he says on his Twitter account here. He's going to need some serious self-care after this. Dude. All right, so he's responding to people. All right, so thankfully other people realize how crazy this is. John Doyle says, I'm happy that my good friend Hunter Avalone and his girlfriend are safe. Hopefully he will listen to himself beg the police to hurry as he lets his woman block the door from their estranged lover after having suffered a gunshot. Exactly. He's letting her stand in front of the door. She needs to be behind the wall or hoisted off of this balcony and down to the ground so she can leave. If you're just going to sit there and quiver and wait for the police to come save you, the police who you want to defund. All right, so he's defending himself. Homeboy's on Twitter defending himself. So first I hid behind my girl. That was false. So you're pivoting to attacking my voice, being afraid when someone was trying to kill me? Yeah, this is why you're blocked and you never had a loving father. Okay. He's responding to people ripping on him. This is nuts. Dude, you should be doing self-care, bro. 8 tips for Hunter Avalone self-care. Tip number 1. Get a bottle of chocolate Soylent to raise your blood sugar. It's probably dangerously low from all the kvetching and quivering and sweating you did while hiding behind your girlfriend who just got shot, hoping she can protect you from the bad man who went crazy because of your stupid degenerate polycule. Step 1. Get some Soylent in you. Raise your blood sugar. Step 2. Set boundaries. If you're in a polycule with a mentally ill, deranged person who's probably going to shoot you, you might want to consider setting boundaries. But don't be a bigot. Many of us have mental health. If you have mental health, talk about it. Talk to your polycule about their mental health. The best way to get rid of mental health is by talking about mental health with other people who also have mental health. Mental health is something that's often stigmatized. Don't let people stigmatize you for having mental health. Stigmatize them for making you feel uncomfortable. They're toxic and are gaslighting you. Tip number 3. Don't ever own a gun. Guns are bad. Only police should have guns. Also, police are bad and should be defunded. Tip number 4. If you find a woman who has larger, stronger, more muscular legs than you to hide behind as a human shield while a deranged member of your failed polycule is trying to murder you, make sure to call the police while quivering like a pussy and hiding behind the member of your polycule who just got shot in her leg, which is probably far more muscular than your leg. Tip number 5. Post on Twitter a video of you almost getting murdered. Have no actual self-preservation instinct. Just pull out your phone and record it. Tip number 6. Make sure to like and subscribe. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I've subjected you to some of the strangest stuff that I could ever imagine. I don't even know where to start. Come over here to the bigots dropping super chats. All this super chads with them super chats. Tristan's wife's boyfriend donated $7.36. You are bald. Rap battle Jay Dyer. Winner gets to play Switch with me when I get home from work. Man. Freaking Tyshawn. First of all, Tyshawn. I know I'm bald, dude. And you know that's a soft spot. You know that I have mental health about my baldness, okay? Tyshawn, if you remember correctly, the hair transplant that you encouraged me to get before didn't take. The doctor said that is because I used a BIPOC donor's hair. Your hair, Tyshawn. And it didn't take. So, in a way, maybe it's your fault that I'm bald. Okay? Second of all, I already did rap battle Jay Dyer and humiliated him. I humiliated him so intensely that he actually tried to lie and make up words like Avril Lavigne and say that Avril Lavigne wrote that. That's an Avril Lavigne song that you just freestyled. But it was really off the top of my head, and it was so good that he had to cope by just making up crazy words like plagiarizing that off Avril Lavigne. All right, so you're wrong. Thank you for the donation, Tyshawn. I appreciate you letting me use the Nintendo Switch tonight. But you don't have, you should probably talk to me a little bit nicer while you're living in me and my partner's house. Goodness. All right. Bert Purcell sent a $9.99 super chat on YouTube. Thank you, Bert. Thanks, Bert. Appreciate that, man. All right. Come over here. Let's come over here to the chat. Man, I don't know about you, but I think this chat gave me mental health. This gave me some pretty intense mental health. I don't even know. I don't even know what to do about all this. In the words of Hunter Avallone, OMG, I'm still processing this. All right, we didn't even get to our friends in the polycules. We had a bunch of possibly funny poly videos pulled up, but maybe we'll do a different stream. We can watch some of these later. I gotta get to bed though, guys. Aeneas Paratore sent, what is ARS? 500 ARS, which translates to $3. Where is ARS from? Aeneas says, thank you for helping me improve my mental health. Well, I didn't know you had mental health, but I'm glad you told me, because if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known. I would have never known you had mental health. After watching this stream, I think I have a little mental health too. If we all just talk about it and self-care hard enough, we all spend enough time gazing at our own self on our Instagram profile, we can improve our mental healths, and we can all feel better. So thank you very much, Aeneas, and everybody who's donating through those super chats on the stream. Tinfoil Hat Girl.
That's racism, man. I love to racism,
Tinfoil Hat
bro.
Girl throwing a last-minute super chat over there through Streamlabs. Really appreciate that. $5 says we are falling backwards into Babylon. Good to have you back. Yeah, it's nice to be back on YouTube with you bigots. You guys actually make sure that you do share the videos, hit the thumbs up, do all that. Smash the mental health. I mean, smash the like. Okay, guys, if you don't hit the like, it might give me mental health. Smash the like. Mandatory cringe influencer saying. Smash the like. But yeah, like the video, share the video. That does help with the algorithms. When you guys engage with it, YouTube recognizes. I'm feeling good as hell. So you guys gotta engage with it, support the stream, of course, as you guys have been doing. Really appreciate the support. Share it, like it, all that. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And if you think you're subscribed, you might actually not be subscribed, because that happens a lot. I've had people have to resubscribe 5 times to this channel because YouTube consistently unsubscribes them. The algorithms are quite crazy these days. So make sure you're subscribed. If you want to support yourself and support the work we do here, you can go to choq.com, choq.com. And if you want to support Hunter Avallone, Destiny, and any other absolute redact who decides to get in a freaking polycule or polyamorous relationship, you can support them by getting them on some of that chalk. You guys, we desperately need a donation of some chalk, of some Chad mode to our friend Hunter Avallone, so that he can have enough energy to not just be quivering behind his girlfriend who just got shot. Next time a deranged and estranged member of their mental illness, spiritually transmitted disease sharing polycule has gone nuts. We got to get these guys on some chalk. 53% off all subscriptions for life with the code BIG53LIFE. That's going to be going on for the next couple weeks. I'm always using that Tomcat 100, that Shilajit, the daily. The Chad mode is awesome. It uses natural caffeine, not the crazy stimulant, weird heart palpitation inducing artificial caffeine. No artificial flavors, no artificial colors, none of that crap. You know, even a lot of the so-called natural flavors that you see on these on supplements and pre-workouts, that stuff is trash. Not even any of those natural flavors in the Chad mode. It is flavored with maple syrup, maple scissor, maple crystals, right? So the hippie chicks, so the hippie polycule chicks will like it because it's maple crystals. It's just dried maple syrup. So it'll have that nice maple flavor. It's maple lemon flavor. It's super awesome. And they use a spirulina extract to give it that blue. So, sorry, I know a lot of you are really into the microplastic Buggy-O's, the Klaus Schwab microplastic Buggy-O's cereal. But you got to get off that. Get yourself on some Chad mode. Get yourself on that Chad mode. None of that natural flavoring crap. None of those artificial flavors, artificial dyes and whatnot. And the Tomcat 100. Get yourself some of that. For the ladies and for the gentlemen, it's awesome, as well as the Shilajit. You can get 53% off everything at choq.com on subscriptions. So that 53% off is only on the subscriptions. Big53Life is the code. There's a link in the descriptions. Big53Life for 53% off. This is going to be the best deal of the year, and it's probably going away in a couple weeks unless we can convince Choq to run it longer, but I don't think so. I think at the end of the year, that's going away, and there's site-wide discounts right now, site-wide Christmas discounts from our based friends and sponsor over at Choq. I wouldn't accept their sponsorship if I didn't use it myself. I got a whole dang cupboard filled with this Choq, getting chalked up every day, using the daily on the daily, using the Shilajit on the daily, using that Tomcat 100 on the daily. Camera's not focusing on it. Boom. There it is. Even their bottles are based. So anyways, guys, these stupid polycule goobers, all our dinks and twinks and freaking stinks and the polycules. Can you imagine the smell in some of these throuple households? Oh my goodness. The smell must be freaking terrible. So, everybody who's watching, thanks for supporting. Thanks for supporting yourself. And yeah, like real healthy relationships is what we should be building, right? All this cringe manosphere stuff is just as bad as this stupid polycule lefty nonsense, right? This the libertarian polycule manosphere. Oh, just make a bunch of money, bro. It's cool if men cheat. Men are designed to have a bunch of women. That's all nonsense. All you're doing is destroying your soul with all of this hypersexualization, hyper focus on sex. Really need to be building healthy relationships and healthy families. And healthy cultures are built on healthy relationships and healthy families. Marriage is not just some stupid contract that you go get from a local notary, right? From the Orthodox perspective, from the Orthodox Christian perspective, marriage is a sacrament in the church. So, yeah, I mean, it's sad that like people's marriage falls apart, but this freaking kid, Destiny, that's not a marriage. That's a situationship. That's not a marriage. So we all need to be seeking real healing, not stupid fake self-care. Real healing. That only comes from God, right? We all need to be seeking the truth. And the truth is not going to be found in freaking, homosexuals like Andrew Tate, bisexuals like Destiny and his little polycule, or these stupid alternative relationships. Right? We got to be building real relationships with our families, with our friends, with our communities. So anyways, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you next time. Peace, bigots.